Let's speed up this Shopify site in less than 5 minutes. Hey there, Luke here from RenderBetter with another Shopify site speed audit, where we dive into real life e commerce websites to figure out what's slowing them down and how to fix them. So today we're going to be looking at the site thebrick.com. I noticed that this site was having a couple of issues with their site speed on their product pages, so we're going to take a look at that. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is jump over to trio.sh. This site is really good for giving you a high-level overview of what your real users are seeing. So I'd like to always filter it by mobile and show latest, just to make sure that we're seeing the most recent data for the site. And you can see here, there's a couple of issues. These top three numbers are just the speed of the site. The third number is generally the most important number. And this is how long did it take for the largest image to show up on the page. For product pages, this is the actual product image. So we want to make sure that shows up as fast as possible. Now, we do notice another issue on the site, and that is the layout shift. And this is basically how much is the website moving around as it loads for your user. It's very important to get this number down, because what can happen is a user would go to tap on, maybe they want to see more details, but then an image loads above it, and now they're tapping on the image or they're tapping on the buy now button, and it's just not a good experience. So we're going to take a look at those today. So I have here thebrick.com open. First thing that I'm going to do is open up my developer tools, and this is done by just right click and then go to inspect. The easiest way that you can do it. And then I always come up here and I turn on mobile mode, so that way we can see what it looks like on mobile. And then I'm going to refresh the page. So you can see it took a little bit for that main image to show up. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the performance tab. And what you can see here is that the performance on this page is actually pretty bad. It took almost 4 seconds for that TV image to show up. And that is something that you want to show up as soon as possible. Google defines the best range for this as less than 2.5 seconds. Obviously, it's ideal if you can get it even lower than that. So definitely a big issue. We'll figure out what's going on here. The second issue is it did see that layout shift. So this is the content moving around as the page loaded. So the first thing that I'm going to do to figure this out, and this happens in probably 99% of the web audits that I do, is I'm going to check and see if JavaScript is the thing that's responsible for loading that biggest image. So all we have to do is go over to this little cog on the top right here called settings. And I'm going to scroll down until I see debugger. And I'm going to turn off disable JavaScript here. And then I'll close this out and refresh the page. Now we'll see that the image didn't even load at all. This is the problem. The problem is that it requires JavaScript for the image to even show up. This means that a lot of the optimizations that the browser would be doing can't be applied to the image. So I've prepared this demo to show you what happens when you use JavaScript to load your product images. So when a customer visits your site, Shopify will get everything ready and the page will start downloading. Now, once the page is downloading, you'll see everything starts showing up. You've got maybe your nav bar. This is where your product image should be. And then here's maybe the product details. So JavaScript now needs to start downloading. So this is maybe your carousel script or some lazy loading script. So it starts downloading, still waiting. Then it's downloaded. Now we need to start running the JavaScript, still waiting. Okay, now the JavaScript actually ran, and now the image is added to the page. So we see the image is added, the carousel thumbnails are added, and all this product details content got pushed down the page. And that's what causes what's called CLS. It's the how much the layout actually moves once things start loading in. This is not a good experience. It's very bad. And the image still hasn't loaded yet. And then finally, image loads. You get a slow experience. You get the content shifting around quite a bit. It's just not great. Now, there's a couple alternatives to this, and this depends on what you're using in your theme. The first alternative would be, if the image is available, you can actually just force it to show up. This can be done using CSS or some other technique. But what that looks like is customer goes to your site, page starts downloading, and immediately everything is there. It's ready. The layout of the page is the way that it should look. And all that needs to happen, even if JavaScript needs to be downloaded, is it just shows up, looks good, JavaScript initializes, your carousel initializes, and everything's looking good because you showed the image ahead of time, it started downloading ahead of time. So this is what it looks like for the brick.com. You can see here that I've got JavaScript disabled still. I'm going to come over here and click on the element that I think should show up. And you can see the element is here. It's in the HTML. So all I'm going to do is figure out why is it hidden. I'm going to look at the ancestors just a little bit and see, and there we go. The opacity is set to 0. So I'm going to go ahead and set this to 1 and then refresh the page. There we go. So you see the image is showing up without JavaScript enabled. So this will lead to very quick loads. Now I'll go ahead and re-enable JavaScript, refresh the page, and there you go, it still loads. Now there's one other technique. This is if your carousel doesn't have the image and it loads it 100% using JavaScript. What you can do is you can add a placeholder image. So again, customer starts downloading the page. And then here, what we do is we overlay an image. So we maybe make a copy of that product image, put it where the carousel will be. And then once the carousel and JavaScript and all that stuff loads, then you hide this overlay image and reveal the carousel. So that way, you're still getting a fast LCP. There's no layout shifting or anything. The product image shows up quickly, and you just have a better experience overall. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you'd like me to record a video of how to improve your site, please leave a comment below and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks for watching.